City Commission of Rio Grande City. It is Wednesday, December 8th. It is approximately 6:17 p.m. and we're in Commission Chamber, City Hall, 5332 East US Highway 83, Suite A here in Rio Grande City, Texas. At this time, we're going to have the invocation by Commissioner Escobedo, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Ramirez.
Bow our heads. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for all the blessings that you have upon us. But we ask you that you continue to bless us every single day. And more than anything, dear Lord, we ask that you give us wisdom and understanding to continue moving forward. We ask that you continue protecting us, every citizen of this community, and every business. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state of God, one indivisible. Next business and orders, item 1B, roll call and finding of quorum. Garza?
Mayor Villarreal,
Present.
Commissioner Flores,
Present.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Here.
Commissioner Escobedo.
Present here.
We have a quorum.
Next item is item 1C, swearing in Commissioner Rogerio Divades Jr. We proceed, Judge. Okay. Where's Divades?
Before I begin, it gives me great pleasure to swear in one of my dearest friends. I've known him since I've been, when I guess the snake used to fly. Back in Divades, I've known him all my life.
We used to share football pants. There was only one pant big enough. Yeah. So we would look for each other after the games. The guy team was playing first. I would go look for him. You're the pants.
And I played first, you're the fan.
Yeah.
But then we go way back. I couldn't say no good things about it, but it gives me great honor to come and swear one of my best friends.
Well, thank you.
You ready?
I appreciate it.
Pick up the hand. Ready? I, Rogerio Divades Jr.,
Rogerio Divades Jr.
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
execute the duties
execute the duties
of the office of
of the office of
Commissioner,
Commissioner,
Place 3 of Rio Grande City,
Place 3 of Rio Grande City,
Stark County, Texas,
Stark County, Texas,
and will,
and
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve,
protect,
and defend the Constitution
the Constitution
and the laws
and the laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Like to say a few words?
Speech, Roger, speech.
Thank you so much to the mayor, to the commissioners for their confidence in selecting me to do this job. I promise to do the best that I can, and I promise to do the best, to do everything in the best interest of the citizens of Rio Grande. And again, thank you. I'm overwhelmed, I'm nervous, I'm happy, I'm in a lot of emotions, and thank you so much for being here. I thank my family for being here.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I get a chair. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Let's proceed with a picture down here.
You might have to take
You
it
just want to take a picture?
or somebody might take it.
I want to be ready for my friend.
Yes. Like finish. Come on.
Okay, guys, the camera is in the office.
I'm already set it over, I'll say again.
Bye.
Yes, sir. You're next to me, brother. Aquí nos vamos a juntar. Yo tengo. It's your turn. Vamos a cantar.
You can just write it in.
Thank you.
Mayor, maybe the family wants to take some.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, that's true.
Go ahead.
I know they wanted to take pictures.
Gotta speak up. Okay. Go ahead.
Vasquez, that way you can take pictures of your family.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's okay. Sorry, Mayor.
Sorry about that, we got too excited to get.
It's a family, of course, big moments. We're just standing in the back.
Do we photobomb yours? Photobomb it? Yes. We're gonna photobomb Roger.
Yes, of course. Hello.
Hey,
Oh, welcome. Nice to meet you.
I didn't realize it. Oops.
Sí, sí.
Let's just stand up.
Que salgamos en el.
Hey, no, that's.
Can I have you, sir, in the middle between the men with the cowboy hat? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, there we can scooch down. There we go. Like this. You can come right here. And then, sir, yes, right here. And then you can come a little before. There we go. Better. And you can go in the back. There we go. Yeah, there. You can come up 5 minutes. There we go. Make this look pretty. I'm wearing tall heels today. All right, 3, 2. Okay, there we go.
Awesome. Good. Thank
We
you.
got this one.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Apologies for getting too excited to get started.
I think that's why there was more people than normal here, bro.
It's awesome.
Can I get over you? Huh?
Sure, sure.
Sure.
Stand up.
Así.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is item 1D, public forum. Do we have anyone signed up for public forum?
No one signed up for public forum.
Okay, for the record, no one signed up for public forum. Next item is 1E, departmental reports.
Mayor, we have Ms. Reyes that wants to do a report, and also the Assistant Chief Solis.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Two items that I'd like to report tonight, and of course, any other questions you might have concerning the department. One of the items we want to bring up to you, a status report, is on the bond paving. Last time, you all had a presentation. Streets were scored as to the matrix that was created by Half and Associates. Staff went back, we met, and we looked at how we could make sure that all streets that were selected would receive some sort of improvements. Obviously, the rise in the cost of material has made it impossible to reconstruct many of the streets. And so staff, and I know Frank and Hector, they went out, visited each street. So you have a list, and the ones in red, those are priority. They're priority because of the location that they are, the type of traffic that they have. And, you know, we do get several calls throughout the day of the complaints on Garcia Street. It reduces mobility in the area. Of course, that's Vista Subdivision, which has been waiting patiently for a number of years for improvements. An embassy where you've got some of the concrete that's cracking, you've got rebar and some wire mesh, you know, poking out. And I know Public Works crew goes out, they trim it down, patch it, but it needs new concrete. Hector and Frank, I don't know if you want to walk
We
up.
can go ahead and continue with this in a workshop, Ms. Bass.
Okay.
And I think we should do a workshop and then sit down and go each one by one.
Correct.
Okay? And we can go ahead and schedule that for next week. if all
Well,
commission-
just, the engineer has been out there doing some geotesting to see how much of the base and the streets are still in good condition, and also surveying, so they'll be able to have better numbers in the month that comes.
All right.
I also want to take the opportunity to recognize some employees of the Public Utility Department. They worked all weekend on the Eisenhower tank. Previously, we had a crew also patching up a leak, and you've all drive by there, you know how high it is. And so I know I asked Melissa if she could, you know, kind of put up their picture, because I know we've got new employees. Oh, sorry. But we had the McGuire Group come in and do their quarterly or annual maintenance on the tank. We made sure that our staff was in there with them, that they didn't miss a spot. So we had Enrique Cantu leading the crew. Of course, we had Rosendo Ramos, we had Refugio Solis, Leonel Garcia III, Antonio Garcia, and Luz Olivares, the crew there. Then we also had the water treatment operators, making sure that the city continued having water and the adequate pressure. And we had Alex Guerra leading that group with Gene Serrano and Norma Rios. This tank provides the pressure throughout the city and to El Saus and El Tanque. So they worked all day Saturday, and then they continued on Sunday, and I believe they should be recognized, because this is like beyond their efforts in their duties that they do with the public utility. All of the workers are dedicated and hardworking and team workers, so I wanted to mention their names. If there are any other
Are there any
questions?
of them here today?
No, they're pretty tired at the end of the day. We have they receive their work orders through their iPads, and they're out there getting the work orders and going out. And sometimes a work order can be as simple as 30 minutes. They did do a water tap-in that took 3 hours. And so sometimes they're trying to catch up, but they're all are dedicated. I'm really very appreciative of each one of them.
Fantastic.
Unless anybody has any other questions on the
No,
department?
just a suggestion, maybe we can do an employee highlight video or something,
I'm Jillian.
or any employees that the department directors want to highlight. We can do that every so often and start highlighting the employees and the efforts, and especially in undertakings that are going above and beyond
Yes,
all the
sir.
duties. So maybe that's something we can definitely do.
And Ms. Beas, on our behalf, can you please thank them for all of their hard work and commitment to the city?
I'll let them know, Commissioner Flores. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Reyes.
Good evening, Mayor, City Commission. I had two topics to touch up on. First one is, it's that time of year again. December 21st, we'll be hosting our annual toy drive. With the COVID still up in the air, we're still going to do it at drive-thru there at the Basilio Villarreal Park. So it'll be on December 21st at 6 p.m. We would love to have the commission out there with us, the same way we had you guys attended and helped us out, pass out toys. Second note, I'm going to introduce our newest officer. She was hired through the COPS grant. So she'll be helping out, Yvonne Villanueva, she'll be helping out with our public relation within our department. So you'll be seeing a lot more of her out and about. She's been worried because we told her she has to do a huge speech. So you want to say a few words?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm
Hi.
Officer Villanueva. Thank you for having me today. I wasn't prepared for this. I was told, but I didn't prepare anything. But thank you for having me, and I look forward. Chief Castillo and Assistant Chief, thank you for having me and not overlooking my application, because I look forward to working with the PD. It's been a dream of mine since I was little, so now I'm here working for the people wholeheartedly. So thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
How many female officers do we have, so you could advise the commission? Because I know that we've been hiring more female officers. I think that's that diversity we need in our patrols. And just to highlight that, I'd get Joey to give you guys some information on that.
Putting me on the spot, so I'm counting with my fingers.
Sorry, you're counting with the fingers.
We have 3 investigators and 3 patrol officers. So it's a total of 6 female officers working this within our department, out of a 34 officer department. So, and we have another officer here. She's the actual field training officer to Yvonne, Ms. Monica Ramirez. So she's been with us for about 2.5 years, and she's one of 3 officers that are assigned to train new officers. So, I know you don't want to talk. So that's it for our report.
Chief, a quick
Yes,
question.
Chief.
You mentioned the toy drive on the 21st, and I'm going to commend you for that. It was a successful event last year. But I did notice that the long lines, and at the end there were some people that spent an hour, 2 hours in line and didn't get a chance to get a toy. Any way we can improve that, or how we?
We're going to look into, I know last year we had a bunch of toys, and we're very grateful for the community, because even during the event, we're still getting toys dropped off. This year, I know Ana, and she's done a wonderful job through the Crime Stoppers. I know she's gotten about $7,000 worth of donations from HEB, Walmart, and other businesses. So we're going to go out and buy the toys. We're going to try to see how we could get the toys closer, because I know last year we had so many that after a while we had to walk to pick them up. So we're going to see if we could get them out a little bit quicker. So we'll see what we can do to improve this year.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Of course, we got to do a photograph with the new officers. Or officer.
One officer.
But we have 2 officers here, so let's take a photograph with chief officers. In front. Don't be bashful.
I was gonna say you're a little.
All right, a little tall.
Alright.
Yes.
Chief, do you mind coming down here? Only because I feel like it's necessary. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, great. Okay. 3, 2, 1 more. Okay, one last one. 3, 2. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Rich?
If there's anyone else that needs to make a report or wants to say something from the departments,
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Just on a quick note, we already have our Peterbilt truck here in McAllen at Rush Truck Center. On Monday or Tuesday, they're gonna take it to install the body. That's for next week.
Thank you.
So,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I think that's it.
All right. All right, moving on. Next item is 2 consent agenda. Letter A, B, and C, approval of minutes from previous meetings, approval of action taken at the meeting of the RGC-tv board, and then departmental travel request.
Mayor, if there are no questions, Mayor, I motion to approve items 2A, B, and C.
Okay, we have a motion to approve items 2A, B, and C by Commissioner Ramirez.
I second.
Second by Commissioner Escobedo. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, left. Motion passes. Next item is 3 ordinances. Letter A, second reading, adoption of ordinance number 2021-8, amending the City of Rio Grande City Ordinance, Chapter 8, Health and Safety by adding Article 689, mobile food vendors.
Mr. Milan?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. This is the ordinance regulating mobile food vendors. It's a comprehensive regulatory program with the help of Texas Health and Safety Code. And it's just a technicality on mobile food trucks and what the do's and don'ts, basically. Obviously, the location, if anybody's wondering, that can still be discussed. But again, this is about the food truck itself. There are some basic standards that the city never had in place.
Okay. Any questions from Mr. Milan or?
Mayor, I know that on the food trucks, that there was a discussion based on where to place them. I know we're working on the Ringo Park, and I know that we're going to maybe a pilot project for that. And Sarah also, she recommended also doing something there on Britton Avenue. So I don't know if we have to bring that again or.
No, that can be done separately. Today, it's only to amend it.
It's only to amend it, so that I guess those are under consideration for this in the future. Okay.
This is about the food truck itself, basically.
Yes.
All right. You ready to entertain a motion at this time?
I so move, Mayor, item 3A.
I'll
Okay.
second, Mr. Mayor.
Have a motion to approve item 3A by Commissioner Escobedo, second by Commissioner Olivares. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, your left. Motion passes. Next item is 3B, second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2021-7, amending the City of Rio Grande City Ordinance by adding Chapter 18, Airport Advisory Board, creating duties and responsibilities for the board.
Yes, Mayor, this is the ordinance to start up on the expansion of the airport. We're actually starting to get to it. We've been looking at some possible grants to work on the airport. This would be the first step as per legal to get there. We do have a few names that have already been provided by Commissioner Scorretto and yourself, Mayor. And we got a couple of other names that the chief and I have kind of talked to. There's a couple of pilots out there that we want to see if we can bring them on. I know that the ordinance states that it's only we have to recruit from Rio Grande City. There's not too many pilots within the county. I don't know if that's something that you all want to change and expand it to before the ordinance goes into effect. If it'd be somebody that we could get for the board from the county. It's a 2-year term. And then they have to vote again for another group of, or bring in another group of pilots, or pilots of board members. So I don't know, that's the only change. It's, we're trying to find, because the ordinance says it has to be somebody with experience in aviation. There's only a few pilots in this area that know of it, but there's a lot of interest in it. There's one pilot that's from, I think, Roma, right, Chief?
Okay.
Well, considering that the airport is really, I mean, it's helping the entire county, it's not just directly Rio Grande City, that definitely would be something to bring up, to have the opportunity to have someone outside, not necessarily having to live inside city limits.
That would, we just had to amend that one?
Yes, we could just say motion, if you guys are going to move to approve it today, just say motion to approve with the not amendments, with the as stated, the changes as stated, that you're not going to limit it to Rio Grande City.
And the names that have been proposed so far, they all have aviation experience?
I'm sorry?
Do they have aviation experience, the names that have been proposed?
Some of them do, or knowledge of it. So it's hard to.
It is?
It was hard to find names, right? And I know of 2 pilots, but I don't know if they're going to want to do this because one's not here, and we just need to ask them. I think the chief reached out to him. I'm going to reach out to him again tomorrow and see if we can bring on board. But we already have a couple of names. And,
because I do see that it's a requirement, so there's not a lot of people around the area with
right.
that type of experience.
Exactly. So and then if you want to change that a little bit again, Kel?
Yes.
So we could
You want
kind
to
of,
delete that part, we can do it right now and just say again, motion to approve as discussed, not limited to Rio Grande City, the members, and remove any aviation experience.
Want somebody with aviation experience, except that I don't know if we're gonna be able to get all members with that
Correct.
experience. So-
Exactly, that's the tough part if we do it the way it's stated
With
here.
preferable aviation experience.
Prefer, right.
And it's an advisory board. Now, the thing with the airport, there's a lot of steps to it, and it's expensive to do, so we're gonna have to go look for money, and, then there's just some other obstacles that are still there that we need to take care of, and I'll talk to legal about that later, but if we could do those changes, if you all approve of that, we can get somebody on board right away.
Okay.
And then we can switch them off if they decide not to be on the board.
Well, Mayor, if, with those changes, I move to approve item 3B with requested changes that it not be limited to somebody with aviation experience, that they preferably have aviation experience, but if we're not able to find every board member with that type of experience, not limited to that, and also not limited to some people from Rio Grande City.
I say the motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Flores, item 3B, second by Commissioner Ramirez. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, left. Motion passes. Next item is 3C, discussion and possible action approving ordinance number 2021-9, amending the 2021-2022 fiscal budget by providing a transfer from the city's fund balance to the city's general fund, rgc-tv's general fund, and PUD general fund.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. First of all, congratulations to Mr. Divades on his nomination.
Thank you, sir.
Looking forward to working with you. This one's a budget amendment. Basically, we didn't budget for, it's going to be a coronavirus incentive that we haven't given to the employees. We didn't budget for it. We're going to take it out of the fund balance, but eventually I think this is going to be reimbursable for the American Recovery Act. And we'll do that afterwards when we start moving the money from that fund. And it's basically from the three funds that payroll comes out from, which is CDC, Water Department, and General Fund.
I move that we accept this presented, sir.
Okay, we have a motion
I
to
second.
approve item 3C by Commissioner Divades, second by Commissioner Flores. Any further discussion?
This will require roll call.
Okay.
Okay.
Mayor Villarreal,
In favor?
Commissioner Flores,
In favor.
Commissioner Ramirez,
In favor?
Commissioner Olivares,
In favor?
and Commissioner Escobedo.
In favor.
Thank you. Next item is 4 resolutions. Letter A, discussion and possible action to approve resolution 2021-32 to authorize the submission of a grant for funding through the AFG Assistance to Firefighter Grant.
Fire Chief?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioner. This is a grant that we applied last year, as well as the year before, and unfortunately, we didn't get it, so we're reapplying again. The same type of equipment, we added some more stuff that we needed. This is basically to assure ourselves in the future that we're going to have enough resources available once current equipment are expired, or once we get our public safety building going. We also have some added equipment. I don't know if you all have a list of the equipment that we've been reaching out for. It is a large amount. It's totaling over $770,000 worth of equipment. There is a requirement of 5% match, which currently that is a $38,000 match that we need to get if approved. So we won't find out until maybe by the end of the summer where we get or not.
Well, Chief, you mentioned that we applied for it twice
Yes.
previously, and we have not gotten it. Have you got any feedback from them as far as what we need to do differently on that application, maybe to differently, or?
We've talked to John Pedratz. He's one of the members of Rutledge Associates, and he did mention he tweeted some of the wordings that he needed to tweak, because they're real picky when it comes to looking at the grants. So they were just gonna tweak some wordings around, and hopefully this time around, we'll get it. Usually when you apply, constantly apply for it, eventually, you'll get it, or you get part of it at least, if you don't get all of it, but that's what we're hoping for this time around.
Have we ever gotten it?
No, the last time we got awarded was the Border Zone Grant. That was last year we got it. That's when we acquired the boats and some other equipment. But not this particular grant, the Assistance to Firefight grant.
Mayor, I so move item 4A.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 4A by Commissioner Escobedo. Second by Commissioner Olivares. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, left. Motion passes. Next item is 4B. Discussion and possible action approving resolution number 2021-33, authorizing the increase of city fees and charges for solid waste disposal.
Yes, Mayor, there's been an administrative fee imposed on the waste part of this, and the administrative fee has been $1 for the last 9 years, or 9 or 10 years, and there's a separate document, that she'll pass on in. This is a recommendation from Finance that the fees be reviewed and possibly adjusted. The fees, the proposed chart is what Mel is passing to you all right now for review. If you have any questions, Mr. Cantu's here.
And you said, Chief Castillo, that it has not been increased in 9-10 years?
It's been 9 to 10 years that the fee has been $1, and Finance has recommended that it go up to $127.
This is the administrative fee, correct?
Yes.
Basically, on this one, we're looking at is only at the first page. It's an administrative fee. What it would do is it would bring the fee for the trash pickup from $12.97 to $14.24. Like the Chief Castillo said, it's been $1 for as far as I can go back and look, which is 2012 on Encode when we switched the accounting softwares. Within that lapse of time, we've had at least 1,000 more accounts added. So that takes more manpower, more of everything. So my recommendation is to increase the administrative fee by $1.27, so that the city can come up even and not lose any money.
How many accounts do we have?
I'm sorry?
How many accounts do we have?
Right now it's close to 6,000. It's like 5,900 and close to 6,000.
Okay.
Okay, just to be clear, it's increased by $1.27.
$1.27, right.
Okay.
I mean, considering that we haven't had an increase in almost 10 years, and the amount is fairly reasonable. I mean, agreement with that. Yeah.
Okay. So do we have a?
So I'll move,
Is there a motion?
yes, I'll move to approve item 4B.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 4B by Commissioner Flores, second by Commissioner Ramirez. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, left. Motion passes. Thank you. Next item is 4C, discussion and possible action to approve resolution 2021-34, authorizing the deputy city manager to execute all legal documents necessary needed to rename the subdivision for approximately 9.46 acres located in Rio Grande City, Texas, as acquired from the Rio Grande City Economic Development Corporation.
Yes, Mayor, this is that Plat 9.4 acres that
Rio Grande Village.
the village, and this is just to name that area for documentation purposes. I think it's got right now the public safety I think that's what,
Called
Ms.
Public
Beth, right,
Safety
Ms. Beth?
Building Subdivision?
It's labeled in this public safety.
RGC,
site.
Public Safety Subdivision. The engineer needed something just to create a file.
reference.
And so
Yes.
I suggest, for right now, just put down RGC, Public Safety Subdivision, awaiting your all's approval. If we keep, change the name. or-
If it already has that name and it's very simple to remember, we know where it's at, then I motion to keep that name as is.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Ramirez. Second by...
Mr. Olivares.
Second by Commissioner Olivares. Hey, you're very quick, sir. Second by Commissioner Olivares. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, left. Motion passes. Next item is 5 items for consideration and approval. Letter A, discussion and possible action to approve several contracts, purchases, payments for the water department, each not exceeding $50,000 or triggering the Texas procurement process.
Yes, Mayor, some of the bills that the water department has in the PUD, they're listed on the first page. Some are the light bill, and the other one is for irrigation or water rights, and the McGuire tanks inspections, which are under contract. And Ms. Bass is here for any questions that you all might have on those
Had a
expenses.
chance to review those. Are there any questions from
I just had a question on the McGuire company. I know you mentioned they were here recently. What is the next thing they're working on?
They're going to start the work at the Garcia elevated tank. They had said they were going to start at,
That's the one by Dr. Margo?
yes, sir, North Garcia Street.
When is their timeline to paint that they...
They are proposing to finish in grinding and sanding off before they apply the paint. They said they was going to start after Thanksgiving, but they haven't
Okay.
brought any equipment, so I'm thinking after the holidays, January.
That tank is going to service what area? Because I know that the main one is the one on Eisenhower, correct?
Yes, sir. That tank will help to sustain pressure. We work with all 3 tanks right now, the Hidalgo, the standpipe in Las Lomas, and the Eisenhower. So the guys sometimes have to go out and manually adjust because some of them are not on our SCADA system where they can control it from the water treatment plant. We cannot leave water in there for long periods of time. It'll lose its chlorination. So they will move and make sure that all tanks are dispersing water into the community. So the Garcia will help that area that's towards the west side. Any other questions on any of the other vendors?
If not, do we entertain a motion at this time?
No, I'm sorry. The reason I was asking is because all the development here on St. Ives, I want to make sure that we don't lose any pressure because all that extra development is coming up, so.
Oh.
But that's fine, I mean, you answered my question.
The last flow reading that was done on Rattler Drive, we have a 70 PSI. Right now, we can sustain it, but as we move forward with the other application, a lot of the newer developments like hotels, they might need just like a tank structure for their sprinkler system, not necessarily for their rooms, but for their sprinkler system in order to pass the inspection.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bass. We entertain a motion at
I
this
so
time.
move, ma'am.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 5A by Commissioner Ramirez,
Second.
second by Commissioner Flores. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, left. Motion passes. Next item is 5B, discussion and possible action to approve several contracts, purchases, payments, each not exceeding $50,000 or triggering the Texas procurement process.
Yes, Mayor, this is it's also in your packet. The police department is going to be buying some pants for the new uniforms that they're going to be wearing. That's about $7,000. And Mr. Lopez from our IT department also needs to update the software that we have due to all the stuff that's going on with that. It's a little bit dated. So that's another $9,000. And you have the fire chief that wants to do some updates at Station 2. And that's on there also, kind of fix that guard, not the guardhouse, but the house that's there for the pilots. and update that a little bit. And I believe all that's budgeted to get done with the funds that we have.
That was my question, it was budgeted for, so.
Yes.
First, we have Mr. Solis. Do you have any?
If you have any questions or, right?
Just a quick update, I know on the memo that the council received. It said $7,751 with 26 cents. We were able to finally get a second quote from GT Distributors. And after going back and forth, we were able to bring down the price to $7,206. So we're saving about $500. GT was $35 cheaper than Gulf, so if approved, we'll go with them. Still $35 that we could save.
Is that a local company? Or-
No, all our uniforms are actually by.
Oh, uniforms, sorry, yes.
Unfortunately, we don't have any local vendors that supply the type of uniform that we need.
Mayor, I so move item 5B.
Did you have anything else?
Well, we have the
Chief?
fire department.
Oh, there's more.
So, if any questions, the renovations are on the station number 2 that's located at the airport, and the other one is the actual airport lounge or the guardhouse, as we mentioned. At the airport. Basically, they're just gonna do a whole renovation to the building, both buildings.
Okay. Commissioner?
Yeah, I so move item 5B.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 5B by Commissioner Escobedo, second by Commissioner Olivares. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Next item is 5C, discussion and possible action approving the cost proposal from Melvin and Hunt for the wastewater treatment plant expansion and sanitary sewer collection system funded by Nat Bank and Texas Water Development Board, project number 73874.
Mayor and Commissioners, if you all recall, the Melvin Hunt was the highest court. We've been negotiating their proposal. This project is actually 3 projects in one. You've got the feasibility and the environmental study that is first has to be done. That will determine the exact depth and level of improvements to be done. And the environmental, because we are running a sewer line all the way to the west, we do not know what we will encounter in all those areas. And it is required by both funding agencies. The second part of this project is, of course, the expansion to the wastewater treatment plant. We're doubling the capacity. And also including in this project will be to amend the permit we have with TCEQ. Right now, we're only allowed to discharge into the river up to 1.5 effluent discharge, and we need to increase it once we expand it. So that's in itself a process dealing with IBWC and TCEQ and other federal and state agencies. And of course, also the collection line all the way to Alvarez Road and all the surrounding communities there. Some streets might require some right-of-way acquisitions, some of them might require some lift stations, but until they do this feasibility study, they will know it to what extent. The funding is a little bit complicated. We have 100% being funded, the feasibility and environmental, that's 100% being funded by Nat Bank. We do have a signed agreement with them. The items concerning the wastewater treatment plant, those we already have the funds through Texas Water Development Board. And those items dealing with the collection system, as soon as we have the feasibility study, we'll move forward to apply for the B funding under Nat Bank. And so the proposal, as you see, is quite explanatory and detailed as to what phases and how they intend to present to both agencies and to the city to make sure that all aspects of the project and all compliance with the regulatory agencies are done. We've got Mr. Mike Hernandez and James here. If you have any questions from them, they're representing Melvin Hunt.
Is there anything you would like to add, sir? Please.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Mike Hernandez with Melvin and Hunt, one of the vice presidents with Melvin and Hunt. And here's Ruben James First of all, we want to thank you for giving us this opportunity. We're grateful. We've worked with the city before. We were the engineers of record when we did some of the expansion and rehab work at the existing treatment plant. We're very familiar with the facilities. We're also familiar with your existing sanitary sewer system and water system as well. So we do this on a daily basis, and we look forward to working with the council, staff, and the funding agencies that are involved in this project.
Any questions, commissioners? No. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ms. Vasquez, just to final question here. Staff is good to go?
Yes, sir. We went through each item thoroughly. This item was also reviewed by NatBank, who is funding it, and they have also approved it.
Okay. All right, so do we entertain a motion at this time?
I move to approve item 5C.
I'll second the motion.
Have a motion to approve item 5C by Commissioner Flores, second by Commissioner Ramirez. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sir.
Next item is 6A. Discussion and possible action to approve change order number 5 for the lift station contract with 5 Star Clark Construction, TWDB Project 73644.
Yes, sir. We had a meeting this past Tuesday, progress on the lift station. As you all know, the last lift station being worked on is in Los Garcias. The hard part is over, like the contractor, breathes a sigh of relief because if y'all drove by there, the hole was 28 feet deep. He did it without damaging any utilities, worked well with the surrounding neighbors and businesses. And second part of that process was to connect all the 4 flowing lines. Some of the lines were quite deep. Some of them carry a lot of flow, but I will say that he did an excellent job. We had no complaints. So now moving ahead, in order to finish the project of laying the slab, putting the skid pump, the 3-pump skid, and also the electrical to get it started, he will need additional time, and this change order does not add any funds. It's just to add time.
That time.
Yes, sir. We do have representatives of the engineering, Real Delta, Ruben Chapa, also here if there's any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Chapa, engineer?
Just one, why so many, why 5 months? What is it exactly that's pending there? I'm sorry, I don't think I heard that part.
Mayor, Council, ladies and gentlemen, Ruben Chapa, formerly with Melvin Hunt, engineer on the project. We are requesting that the project date end May 31st, 5 months. The state has approved the extension with no exceptions. And basically, like Elisa was saying, once the hard part is over, we've covered the hole, we're going to pour the concrete. There's a lot of lines to connect, some mystery lines that I call water and sewer that we didn't know were there. Some were deep, some were, not connected to the original one. So that's pretty much, it's mainly cleanup. And on the other lift stations, it's a matter of paving the driveways and, just clean up for all of them. So, and this one, the delays are mainly, we needed power poles installed, AEP, pipeline located, and and that street in front by the neighbors also has to be paved. So that's basically what's left.
So we're still currently using the old lift station?
Right now, yes, sir. Yeah, we need to bring the power down till we can.
The reason I asked is because you don't have that smell that was there before.
Not anymore. Yeah, because there was, before it was, I call it a MacGyver, the manhole that served as a lift station, and now we have an actual well for the lift station.
All right, thank you.
Entertain a motion at this time.
I so move.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 6A by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Escobedo. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Next item 6B, and if no one objects, I would like to move this item into executive session. No objection. Move on to item 6B to executive. Next item is 6C, discussion and possible action to enter into an agreement with Melvin and Hunt for the wastewater treatment plant expansion and sanitary sewer collection system funded by the United Bank Texas Water Development Board Project number 73874.
Mayor and Commissioners, now that the proposal is approved, I know that with anticipation, we had sent a draft agreement to our city attorneys. They have reviewed it. Everything is in order. And if wishes of the council, we can move forward and get this project going. I know that both agencies are waiting for us to move this. We are at capacity with our sewer plant.
Mr. Real, you reviewed the contracts, everything's in order?
Yeah, it is, we have.
And with that, I make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve item 6C by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Olivares. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Passes unanimously. Next item is 7, planning, letter A. Discussion and possible action for wine and beer retailers on premise licensed by Peña Bar Group for business located at 2546 Central Palm Drive, Rio Grande City, Texas, County of Star.
Mayor Commissioners, this license for a restaurant bar is on the 3167 area by what used to be Citizens State Bank and the Peña Enterprise Plaza. It has been approved by Planning and Zoning in the regular agenda of November the 9th.
All right. We ready to entertain a motion at this time?
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 7A by Commissioner Olivares,
Second.
second by Commissioner Flores. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Next item is 7B, discussion and possible action for preliminary plat approval of Rancho Alto Vista Ranchette Subdivision.
Mayor, this subdivision is outside our city limits. It's for ranchettes. It's within our 1 mile ETJ though. It's serviced by septic tanks, and it's by 8-inch water line for tank of water supply. This here in the embassy, I believe we have our representing engineer in the audience also. East of Laredo Estates here on Embassy Street.
Okay.
It has been approved by Planning and Zoning.
Excellent. You entertain a motion?
I so move item 7C.
B.
7B.
Oh, I'm sorry, B.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 7B by Commissioner Escobedo, second by Commissioner Olivares. Any further discussion?
Just a question, how big are these ranchettes? I'm trying to read the map here.
Yes,
How big are the ranchettes?
there are several sizes.
They vary from 2 acres up to 10 acres.
Okay.
They're all different.
Any other questions? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Next item is 7C, discussion and possible action for wine and beer retailers on-premise licensed by Fidela Vasquez for business located at 121 Chapulte Street, Rio Grande City, Texas, County of Star.
Yes, this is for the original Tacos Acá in Los Treveños area. They've never had a license. They have a license across the street for a drive-through, but they want to sell a beer with the tacos now there at the
All right.
restaurant.
Makes sense.
Keep 'em coming, all right.
I move to approve 7C.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 7C by Commissioner Flores, second by Commissioner Ramirez. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Milan.
Before I leave, I'd like to say Blue Wave is here. They pulled their permit this week. So it's a, let me get the notes, $1.610 million worth of investment in building only, in infrastructure. And a building is 4,500 square feet, and it's here.
It's $2 million with the property,
Correct.
about $2 million of investment. All right, so now people will have another choice, another option for Blue Wave Car Wash coming to Rio Grande City very soon.
They're at the old Rio Motors or where?
Yes, sir. Yeah. And no more old Rio Motors building highways and grass there.
Very
And all that strip will eventually be cleared and
Yes.
nice construction coming through to Rio Grande City, so.
And of
Another
course-
$2 million of investment, sir.
Yes.
Thank you for continue to bring us excellent news.
This is in addition, obviously, to the St. Ives and some of the projects coming there.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Velazquez.
Mr.
Thank you.
Next item is 8, City Manager's Report. Letter 8, presentation by Dr. Raymond Musset on Viral Safety Month, and
Unfortunately, he
Musset.
was not able to be here today.
not able to make it today. And next item is 9, Executive Session, Chapter 551 Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, and Section 551.074 Personnel Matters. It is 7:12 p.m.
On 6B, in executive session, he was not present, and the commission has elected, for purposes of proceeding forward, Commissioner Ray Ramirez to move forward with the meeting, the rest of the agenda.
I'll try to. Did I ever say that?
No, I already said it.
Session, Cal, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. For purposes of the record, I wanted to state that on item 6B that was left on call, Mayor Joel Villarreal did not participate. He excused himself from executive session and did not participate in any discussions. And the commission has agreed to allow Commissioner Ray Ramirez to continue with the rest of the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. Continue to item number 10, reconvening to regular session and consideration of action of matters discussed during the executive session, including the following. Letter A, discussion and possible action regarding personal matters, no action. Letter B, 10B, discussion and possible action related to Victor Canales and Rosbel Barrera versus the City of Rio Grande City et al. CC-21-6560, County Court of Law, Stark County, Texas. Is there any?
There was no action. There was no action.
No discussion, no action on that. Okay. Going back to item 6B. 6B reads discussion and possible action to improve a second amendment to Grande garbage contract to waste disposal services by increasing rates and other provisions as presented by Grande Garbage. Mr.
Commissioners, you have a copy of the amended contract in your packets. And there is also the rates that Grande Garbage was proposing. I still went ahead and broke it down into different rates so the council can look at them and see what they think. The one thing that we were making sure was that whatever increase was added to the contract was not going to be exceeding the global contract by 25%, which it doesn't in either of the cases that I presented there. However, he was asking for a $3 to $350 increase. I went ahead and I highlighted the $3 increase and what that does to the contract. Overall, that would be a 19.04% increase in the global contract, which keeps it under the 25%, which we would be good. This amendment states that there would be no more increases throughout the life of the contract also. The recommendation here would be for $3. I went ahead and added a spreadsheet with the rates on the $3 increase, and he was also asking for $1 increase in each cubic yard, which is also done in this table here. The rates are reflected in the spreadsheet. I don't know if you have any questions on those rates. Again, I went ahead and I did it with the $3 because that was mostly what was discussed with Mr. Hernandez when he came in. I know he was asking $3 to $350, but mostly we discussed the $3 mark. So that's all.
You mentioned that the rates will not be increased during the duration of this contract, which ends on 2025, correct?
2025, correct.
And recommendation, or as discussed by City and Grande Garbage, the proposed increase will be $3 per container, or for the first container, which brings that rate from $11.97 to $14.97. Okay. Are there any comments or questions or concerns from Mr. Cantu at this time?
Commissioner, I know you have a handout as to the rates of other cities that was passed out to you, and I think that those rates reflect what it would be, what the current compared to if the increase was to be given here. I think there's even the county has higher rates than we would here in the city.
And that is correct, Chief. I think that is fair to mention that, in doing this survey, we couldn't find that, of course, that Rio Grande was one of the lowest, as far as fees being paid for garbage collection We were at $12 or $11.97 when others were at $21, Zapata $21.30, Roma's at $27, La Jolla $15.95 plus tax, City of Mission $19.60, Escolares $27, and City of McAllen $20. So I think it is fair for this $3 rate increase for organic garbage due to the fact that no increase has been given to them the last 10 to 12 years. And we're still a lot lower than a lot of the neighboring cities and municipalities. So again, that just needed to point that out in case people, just to be transparent.
Grande Garbage has provided an excellent service in all this past few years, and they've never had an increase. So I think that the proposed increase is very reasonable, especially considering the fact that we are lower than everybody else around us.
And they provide a great service, even on holidays that they don't miss, throughout their collecting the trash. So we appreciate that, Mr. Grande Garbage. Okay. At this time, there are more discussion or comments. I'll entertain the motion.
The only thing I would add for the commission, if you can set a starting date.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I move to approve item 6B to approve the second amendment to the Grande Garbage contract for waste disposal services by increasing the rates as proposed, a $3 increase beginning January 1st, 2022.
I second that.
Got a motion by Commissioner Flores, second by Commissioner Olivares. Everybody in agreement, signify by raising your right hand. Against, left hand. Motion passes. Thank you all so much. So moving on to item 11, adjournment. We got a motion.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
I second.
Okay, very good. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all so much.
You can't.